All right, our next notion when we're talking about vectors is the projection of one vector onto another. The projection of a vector onto another. Now first I want to draw a picture of sort of what this represents, and then we'll work a couple computations to get a feel for that. So when you're working with the projection of one vector onto another, you need to be given two non-zero vectors. And so we're given vector v and vector w. Now they can be in any orientation. Let's just suppose this is vector w, and let's suppose this is vector v. By the projection of one vector onto another, what we mean is this. From the endpoint of vector v, if I'm going to have the projection of v onto w, then from the endpoint of v, you drop a perpendicular to vector w. And then this vector, this purple vector, this is the projection of v onto w. It is as if you have a bright light above, and the light is shining down perpendicular to vector w, and then this is the shadow that vector v would cast. Now, depending upon the orientation of these vectors, this could be several different looks. So, suppose vector w is this. Suppose vector v is this. Well, from this endpoint of vector v, you drop a perpendicular to w. Now, you might think it doesn't reach, but what we may do is extend vector w so that when we drop this perpendicular, this longer purple vector is the vector we're looking for. This is the projection of v onto w. Suppose this is vector w, and suppose now this is vector v. We may extend vector w, but we may also extend it, in this case we need to, extend it in the negative direction. From the endpoint of v, drop a perpendicular to w, and then this purple vector is the projection of v onto w. You may also project w onto v. You may project any non-zero vector onto any other. But that projection, the drop a perpendicular from the endpoint to the vector onto which you're projecting, and then that distance, or that vector you create, is the projection. The symbol for this is PROJ for projection, V subscript W. And so I try to remember this as you're projecting V onto W. W is the one you're landing on, that's the subscript. And so this vector V is the projection, or sorry, this purple vector is the projection of V onto W. That's this vector, in this case that's this vector, in this case that's this vector. So that's the projection of one vector onto another conceptually.